This is Candy from Bees and Brews, and today I want to talk to you about your smoker. My smoker's really old. It's like over 10 years old, and I had to duct tape it because it ripped years ago, and the duct tape works great. Now, the smoker helps to calm the bees when you go into your hive. I always light my smoker just to be on the safe side. Sometimes my bees are really calm and don't need any smoke. So, what you need for your smoker, and it comes with this little disc. This will go down into the bottom of the smoker. Make sure that the little feet are this way. A friend of mine put it on top one time, and she couldn't figure out why her smoker wasn't working. Sometimes it's hard to get this in without it flipping upside down and then feet go up, but if you're careful, you can get it down in there. I just stick my hand down in there, flip it over, and so it'll be down in there. That will push the air from and it will go into the little hole, and it will give the fire some oxygen, so it'll work. If your newspaper and stuff were all packed down in there, you wouldn't get any airflow to make the smoker work. So that just keeps your newspaper and whatever you use for fuel up far enough, so when you pump this, it'll push the air through and give you a nice fire. I always take this bucket with me out to my bees. Newspaper. Some people use pine cones. Other people take burlap bags and cut them into strips and wrap it. And that's a good way to have a nice smoke. I just started doing this, and it really works really nice and stays going for a long time. If you have a workshop, you can use your shavings from your planer and joiner to get your smoker going too. After a while, your smoker will get a lot of soot inside it. If you just build a really hot fire in there, that soot will all just get super hot and then disintegrate and get just down to ash. Obviously, I haven't done that in a while because it's pretty sooty in there. You can also use sumac blossoms they have a really weird smell to them, but they say that it's really good. I used them a couple years in a row. They made beautiful smoke, and I was gonna grab one today and I didn't find any, but I do know they're out right now. They're a big red bud, and I don't dry it or anything. I just throw it right on top, and they make a really, really nice smoke. You can, pine needles. A friend of mine, he will only use pine needles in his smoker. You can use baling twine, but make sure it's not the treated baling twine, because there will be a chemical to keep that baling twine from rotting, so you don't want to use that because there's chemical on it. So you want to use anything that's pretty much chemical free, so you're not smoking your bees with something bad for them. Okay, so I guess I could show you how I start mine. Sometimes it's easier than others. Sometimes it works great and it'll start up just like that. And then other times I can fight with this thing forever to get it going. So what I usually do is take a piece of newspaper, and I just kind of loosely wad it up. You don't want it super tight because you want it to get going. And you light it. Drop it down in there. And when you do your bellow, I think that's what that's called. That'll get it going nice. I'm going to use just a little bit more. That might be a little too much. Get a nice flame coming up. And yeah, we got these here. Pine cones. You can also use those wood chips or twigs, or if your fire gets too hot, I've opened it up and put like wet grass in. You can use leaves, dried leaves. Usually if you slowly do it. Now, I'm getting a lot of flames, so usually I'll just not pump it quite as much. And then if I know I'm going right out to my bees, I'll throw a little bit more in of whatever I have and whatever I'm using. Wood pellets. People use wood pellets too. I do like the burlap though. And what you would do is just stuff that right down in there. And then close it up. Give it a nice slow pump every once in a while. Make sure though that you don't see any flame. That should be a nice cool smoke coming out. If it's really hot, it's gonna burn your wings off of your bees. If you need to reopen it, a lot of times mine will stick. So I just take my hive tool and stick it under there and pry my lid open. I just got smoke in the eye. And then just keep, every once in a while, give it a nice puff. And it'll get going. If you notice that it's not smoking much, you might want to just open the top up a little bit and let it get some more oxygen to it. You might not have enough. It might have burned up all your stuff in there. Sometimes depending on what you're using, it will burn that up really, really quick. But this seems to be doing nice. Once it gets going, it'll stay going for quite a while, especially if you put a lot of burlap in it, or wood chips, or pine needles. And you can fill this thing right up to the top. If you have a lot of hives to take care of and you don't want it to quit, and you know you're going to go doing a lot of them, you want to put as much stuff in here as you want. This part's going to get hot, so be careful. This on the outside, that wire does get hot too, so don't think that's going to stay cool. Never, never, never set it on top of one of your lids that is the styrofoam lids that they make for the hives. I always have a cinder block or a big rock sitting out, and then I can set it on top of that. Don't put it near your grass, because people have been known to catch their lawns on fire or wherever their bees are, because it does get really, really hot on the bottom. It's like really hot down there. So you want to make sure that wherever you're setting it while you're working your bees, it's in a spot that won't catch on fire or melt or anything like that. So cinder block works great for me, and I can just set it on there. So when you're ready to stop smoking your bees and you're all done, I will grab a big chunk of grass, fold it in half, because your smoker's probably still going to be going, and then I'm going to stuff that right down in there, just like that. And don't pump it anymore. Make sure your lid's on. And this is going to extinguish that fire that's in there. It will take a little while to do, so don't think it's going to go right out real quick, because I can still see a little bit of smoke coming out of there. I probably should have gotten a bigger chunk of grass to stuff down in there. And also, this is going to stay hot for a really long time. What I do if I'm at my dad's house, I take a metal, I'll leave this out for 20 minutes on a rock, touch the bottom, make sure it's not hot anymore, and then I have a metal can, and I make sure nothing else is in here, and I'll set it down in here and put the lid on before I even transport it anywhere. And then that way I know I'm pretty safe that it's going to be all right, and put it in the back of my truck and take it home. And plus then the back of your truck or car doesn't smell like smoke either. So that's the smoker. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and have a great day.